Let's be real here. When it comes to synths in metal, most of you have absolutely no idea which part to play. And it makes sense, because you guys are guitarists knowing your fretboard in and out, but not this bloody keyboard. I got you though. I'm a classically trained piano player who switched to metal guitar and then became a metal producer. So in this video, I will help you by giving methods to create the synth parts that fit and color up your modern metal song, yet not clutter it out. Let's do it! Hey, I'm Dr. Mike Trubetskov and I'm here to bring valuable information on recording, producing and mixing metal. So mate, please like and subscribe to not miss out valuable stuff. Let's go! You can get free vital presets, which we have used in this video, by signing up into the link in the description. And even more so, this link will lead you to a waitlist for a synth course which we're building with Christian Cole Audio Cult. In this synth course, we'll go into so much depth regarding synth production, synth parts, and more in metal. So don't miss it out, sign up today. The main rule to follow when creating synth parts for your heavy tracks is musicality. Find the musical pattern that you wish to explore and bounce off it. Usually it would either be a hook based on your guitar riff or a hook that somehow mirrors the main melodic line, be it vocals or lead guitar. Now, the key to this is to follow the main juicy part of the melody, yet not overcomplicate it and not mirror it 100%. Let it breathe and not interfere with the rest of the orchestration. This sometimes works as a counterpoint melody, and the simplicity is key to achieving it. So, we're working on this Invent Animate cover by Arturs, sick cover, and let's approach this as if this was a fresh song. Let's take a listen and see what we come up with musically. You have a melody in mind? I do. This melody in a pre-chorus just came to me as a burst of inspiration. You may have the same. Singing, as counterintuitive as it may be for metal music, can help you a lot when creating melodic elements in your song that are catchy and that are memorable for your listeners. So having this in mind is sick. You can also grab your electric guitar and just play some leads that fit. You just have to keep musicality in mind, that's all. In the next part here, we don't need to reinvent the wheel, as we already have a melody that is basically doing everything for us. We can just grab it in MIDI and push it through a certain synth as a lead melody and see how it sounds. As for this breakdown here, super aggressive. We can explore two ideas. One is mirroring the guitar riffs with the synth for even more aggressiveness and more digital kind of vibe. And another idea is adding a low drone, which adds more tension, builds into this, and just creates that anxious feeling for the listener. So let's jump into these ideas together. Let's start with this melodic layer here, which will act as a hook. Yeah. I liked it a lot. Let's break this down though, part-wise. So we came up with a hook melody, which is simple enough so that you can memorize it and sing. And this can be a main hook or a supplemental hook depending on what vocals are doing in this section or other lead instruments. Now, the cool part about it is it doesn't repeat, it develops, even though the chord progression is the same, it develops into a different line. And another important element is it allows the riff to breathe. Basically, it is filling in the gaps around that riff. When this melody moves, the riff is doing its thing, but then it stops, and then the riff has that progression towards the end of each repetition. This is called the counterpoint melody, literally allowing the main melody to shine through, and this doesn't clutter it at all. Now, this is not something that you will nail in your first go. You will need to practice this idea for a few times at least, to say the least. But overall, if you keep this in mind, it will help you a lot to achieve better sounding synths that sit in the mix better because the part is right. Let's progress to the hook melody in the chorus. No need to overcomplicate this section here. We just grab the MIDI and let it follow the guitar. Leads. Again, this melody is counterpointing with the main bass line and guitar line, but this is not our favor because this has been built by the band by introducing this lead guitar melody. This synth would more serve as a layer to create a more catchy feel for that lead guitar and sort of spice it up. You don't have to do it, but I believe that this is a cool idea, and you can also drop this into the intro to refer to this catchy melody, which we will do later in this video. Sometimes all that you need to achieve with a synth is adding glue and subtle atmosphere to an otherwise completed section. That's when the drone synths come into play. You can add a high-pitched drone to glue the section together and add depth to it without pulling any attention to the synth. And you can also add a low-pitched drone to add more tension and build the anxious state and transition into the fuller section. Considering this chorus section again, let's experiment with something else, and that is just a drone note that glues it together. Check this out. We have the root note, well, basically an octave, sounding like this. Can you hear that it kind of adds to the vibe of this section and ties it together? And depending on how you blend it in the mix, it will just fill in the gaps and add harmonic context to the mix as well, without pulling any attention, but yet still changing the vibe. So you can experiment with different sounds to achieve this. Slow building strings are good, pads from commercial libraries are good, or even simple pads from your free instruments will suit as well. Let's consider the low drones that add tension as well. This here is a great build. Merged with this too. It adds that hole-like atmosphere, darkness kind of feel without interfering with anything, literally. So this is a very cool trick to experiment with. Hold your root note, either high or low, and see what it provides you with. Let's consider the riff in the breakdown section and find the motive that we want to enhance with the synth without pulling too much attention to that synth. Then let's create some madness for this breakdown finally. We have a few layers going. One is this here. Really cool drone that allows to build into the breakdown. We also have this here, a low tension drone from this Farlight library. You can use anything similar from any library that you want to create that tension. And it's just a drone node, root node. On top of that, we have this is my preset for Vital to mirror the guitars. And notice how we drop out the artificial harmonic note because it just doesn't sound right. You can nicely chop those synths once you render them in place to make that glitchy stuttering effect in the guitars as well. But otherwise, these are the ideas that I wanted to share with you. And now, let's take a listen to the full song, right? I think that this turned out quite rather cool, and I hope that this sparks your inspiration to experiment with such ideas for your next song. Hey, thank you so much again for watching this video. I hope that this material helps you with your next production when you're working and developing synth lines. If you have any questions, always here to help in the comment section. Do sign up for that list, get Vital presets, and get onto the waitlist for the full synth course. I'm Dr. Mike Trubetskov. So grateful to have you here. Until next time, take care.